an auto wreck. Oh,
Yeah.
whoever is our producer, they're not going to catch the beginning of our show, bro.
That
I
was a
won't hear.
bit of a fail there. Oh, and he's gone. All right.
Anyway, come on, man.
Come on. That's BS, Dale. That is BS.
Oh, come on. What do you do? Just wake up? Anyway, so Canada, you know, I could see it trying this. Um, yeah. So I mean, right now, I think you have to have a lower dollar bias, but I'm not 100% convinced. I want to just sit through two numbers with a lot of positions this week. How about you,
Yeah.
Blake?
Dale, I actually just took my euro longs off at like literally a couple of minutes ago. I just posted in the trades room. I've bought and
Okay.
sold the euro, bought it at 107 60s, 70s, sold it at 108 two
Yeah.
or three times over the last week. And this is one of those situations where we are pushing the underside of the broken channel or excuse me, triangle again. And it makes sense to take, like, it depends how you want to play it. Like I believe, and this is how I've been trying to play into it, that we are going to have a miss in CPI. And I've been playing that since last week, being short the dollar. But I don't want to be too aggressive. I want to have some dollar shorts coming in, but I also want to keep cultivating profits ahead of the data, because
Yeah.
this way I have some room and some wiggle room to hold some positions. I am
got it.
holding dollar shorts going into this week, and I plan on doing it going into tomorrow's PPI. As Ryan pointed
Yeah.
out, it's little usually PPI comes in after the fact. Which I
Dollar
did.
shorts or euro? Yeah, dollar shorts,
Dollar
not euro
shorts,
shorts.
not
Okay.
euro shorts. No, dollar
Okay.
shorts. I want to be short the dollar. So,
Yeah.
but I'm playing it, like I said, I'm pulling profits off when I can right now. So I have the flexibility of keeping my stops a little wider on some of the positions that I have, because we know it's going to be volatile. Last week was a consolidation week. This week, you know, it there's a good chance we're going to see a pretty explosive move. Um, you know what a lot of the talk is, and one of our traders in our chat room was saying it this morning, and I think is quite realistic. We might get a blow off top this week. We
Oh,
could
in
get
the
a we could
S&Ps.
we yeah, we could get a nice stock market blow off top. Look, the data. Yeah, I talked to Jim Welsh. I talk to him every Friday. He thinks
Yeah.
there's going to be weaker CPI. I've been playing into that just because I think the dollar looks vulnerable right now, and I
Hmm.
thought so since last week. What happens if CPI comes in weaker than expected?
Yeah.
Stocks are going to rip. They are going
Yeah.
to fly,
Yeah.
right? I
That's
mean,
a good point.
yeah, I mean, why couldn't we see this blow off top in the market that we'd been thinking for the last, since the beginning of this year was quite possible? Well, maybe it's still possible.
Yeah.
So
Is Jim still holding his shorts in S&Ps, or is he's out?
I no, he was looking for a little higher level, if I remember correctly. I don't know. I didn't ask him if
Yeah.
he's still holding short. I did
Yeah.
not ask, but I
I
think
know he's
he's.
long TLT.
Yeah, I
He's
know he's
been
long
long for.
TLT. That is for sure, and he thinks gold's going higher, and but he's really a dollar bear.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
been getting into that groove, as you know, Dale. We've
Yeah.
kind of been leaning that way the last couple weeks now. So
Yeah. I
yeah,
mean, I think this week was decisive until negated. You have to
yeah,
go
well,
with what
yeah.
happened
The
here.
the 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 dollar rejected the 618 retracement, and that was pretty critical last week. And because of that, it kind of fortified for me that we have to continue to focus on dollar shorts. And you got a lot of things that are breaking down. you look at the dollar rand ahead of the election, which we're about 2 weeks out, it's starting to break down. The euro's back at 108. It looks like we can see 110 again. I think the market's position short dollars, or excuse me, long dollars. Whether
108, 108. Look how the 50 and the 200 have converged right there.
Yeah,
So I
yeah,
mean, so you'd have to call it a breakout if
yeah,
we
and it's
start
not.
closing above 108.20 or so, you know.
Yeah, I agree with you. And it's not just the euro. I
Euro.
mean, there's a
Yeah, it's
lot of
all of them.
majors where we're
Stronger
if
rally in Aussie.
yeah, the Aussie, look at the Kiwi, Sterling's back above the 200 DMA.
Yeah,
There's a lot of
we were doing
things
the
that
show here and talked about with Ryan, and then we were doing the show after the BOE, and I thought maybe we get to 61.8, and then as it was coming back, we concluded it doesn't have to get there. It's a reversal day. So looks like 126 next important level for a cable.
Yeah, so here actually let me
Go ahead.
Dale, I'm gonna take this chart because I want to show you we just sorry
No.
buddy. Oh, sorry.
Oh, it's
Uh
like that soft drink commercial where some NBA star, I think he started drinking Starry or something, and there's some guy, why you leave me? And he just started, have you seen it? Anyway, it's
no, but
pretty
it
funny.
sounds funny.
It
It
is.
does. So this is
Oh,
Sterling,
yeah,
we got that reversal. Now that I think is a very definitive neckline in
yeah.
the event that I'm wrong in my assessment and we get some strong inflation. One of the things that we do have to think about is that
Let's look.
inflation data globally over the last month. I pulled up G20, looked at all major economies around the world. There were a couple, I think Germany's inflation came in a little weaker, maybe France, and I'm trying to think off the top of my head somewhere in Asia. Most countries, are coming in. Price pressures are higher, inflation's higher. Just look around. It's a big it. So the reason why I mentioned that is because, as I mentioned on the week ahead video that I filmed this weekend, there's a good chance that everybody's going to be leaning into, looking for stronger data. Just because if you look at the last 30 days and you look at what the rest of the world's done, very few countries have missed the mark as far as expectations go. Now, if we do get strong data, I think sterling will be a nice setup for a head and shoulder pattern. But as you pointed out, we had a little false breakdown below those lows. So, as a result, I don't want to. I'm not short sterling. I'm not, but it is one of those things that I think that if we do get some strong CPI, and we'll start off with producer prices, as Ryan pointed out. I think that's where we're going to look. Is we'll look for a possible move, lower in the event we get strong data. But I want to show you something with the euro, and why I just pulled off my euro longs. And just so you guys know, if you're not in the ForexAnalytix chat room, this is the trades room. So you can see these are all my open positions that I have on the board right now. And I keep a running positions of what I have. This is in the ForexAnalytix chat room. This is not myself or Ryan, who just said you got out of some of your cable long. No, Ryan, we'll talk about that here in a second. But this isn't to tell you like, hey, you should be buying or selling where we're buying and selling. But this is a good idea of what we're doing. When you're in a chat room, knowing where people are in or what they're doing is important, because if I respect what Ryan does, and I happen to really respect him as a trader, he's getting out of his sterling. If I'm long, I'll be like, okay, he just got out. Why do I need to, should I still be long? Or if I'm long and, and he's starting to short, I would think twice, and I would ask him in the general chat room, hey Ryan, why are you shorting sterling right now? And so that's what these chat rooms are all about, are about,
It's
not necessarily.
intelligence gathering.
Yeah, it is. It's not necessarily following what I'm doing or following what Ryan's doing, or
Yeah.
anybody for that matter, but it's understanding what people are doing. And that's the key to a community. Now, I'm gonna share with you the euro. This is why I'm getting out right now, is because I know we're at the underside of this previous triangle, and I think it's important. Now, I also believe that a break above this 200 DMA and this 50 DMA is going to, whoops, not that's not what I want to do, but I'll delete it anyway. I don't need that right now. What it's going to do is create a move back towards 109. So that's what I think is going to happen on any weak CPI and producer prices. Now, you might ask, well, Blake, if you're long down here, why didn't you just stay with it? That's because this isn't my only dollar short position right now. I'm playing the dollar short through other methods, other pairs, which I plan on keeping, because Dale, we've had this conversation. I still haven't figured it out. I haven't come up with the answer yet. And maybe you have. Can you figure out a world where the Aussie rallies and stocks come down? I have not come up with
Oh yeah.
that answer yet. I'm thinking that might be the case, but I just haven't quite got there yet in my head. So anyway,
What you mean the market goes down with Aussie being strong?
yeah,
Yeah, can't.
or
Yeah,
the
how
dollar
does that
being
happen?
weak. Yeah,
Well, maybe it doesn't go down. Maybe just other markets go up faster.
maybe, or and this is another conversation. And Ryan, I'd love to get your input here. And by the way, good morning, Ryan. K-Man's out. He's got some. I think he has some visitors at his house for the next couple of days, so he'll be here for CPI. Um,
Extraterrestrials?
yes, he's got ET phone home. Came to K-Man's house.
All
Um,
right. They want
but
to learn how to trade. They're taking his
right,
course.
exactly.
All right.
Teach me how to trade. Teach me how to trade the markets. Teach me about the yen. The yen is perplexing to all human beings, so the aliens want to figure that out. But Ryan, I want to ask you this.
Yeah.
In a world where we have slower growth and higher inflation, could you see, with stronger commodity prices, that maybe you'll see an outperformance in commodity currencies over the dollar, even in a slow growth or a lower growth environment, hence stagflation, which it seems like a lot of the world is coming to. And this would be a departure from my 22 years of trading FX pretty exclusively. When I made the I bridged the gap between trading equities to currencies back in 2002 ish, 2001, 2002. I've never seen the Aussie go down or go up when stocks are going down. It's not normal. But is that a possibility? What do you think?
Yeah, of course it is. If China starts picking up off the floor, starts their economy starts improving, as Glenn says in the chat, copper, that's a big driver of the Aussie. Of course it can. You're a different kettle of fish. I don't look at stocks to know what the Aussie's doing. I look at the Aussie for what the Aussie's doing, and stocks do their own thing. Stocks have been bonkers for years, as we know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd play commodity currencies against the commodities more than what stocks are doing. So yeah, copper's making a breakout. That's going to keep the Aussie supported. If China picks up, that's going to be a boom for commodities. That'll keep Aussie afloat as well.
Yeah,
So
China's
yeah,
had a nice run from the January lows, Blake, if you want to put up the FXI.
Yeah, I just had the 50
Hong Kong?
China 50 come out. I mean,
Oh,
this is,
okay.
I mean, yeah, look at that. Or here's the Hang Seng, excuse me.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, big moves. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, China looks great. And yeah, I hear you, Brian. You don't trade correlations, or you are more of an advocate of them breaking down.
well, I prefer the closer correlations. Aussie stocks correlation, I don't think is a proper correlation, because what you're tying Australian currency to US stock markets. I prefer to keep my correlations tighter, like, you know, Canadian dollar and oil and Aussie and copper, gold, that sort of thing. But, you know, that's not to be dismissive of what you see. Everyone trades their own, like you were saying earlier in the chat room, everyone trades their own different things. We all look at, doesn't mean I dismiss your theory out of hand, just it's not the way I look at things.
Yeah, and everybody's pointing out, and Glenn pointed out, and Angela pointed out copper. Yeah, it's on the week ahead video, I mentioned that, hey, we had the Gartley pattern, but the Gartley pattern's broken, which means, well, it means a couple of different things. First of all, I may have mismeasured the Gartley. It could be right there at the 161% extension, and then we have an 88% retracement, which is still a Gartley, but theoretically, this could actually turn into a butterfly pattern, which, by the way, I mean, you know, you look at copper, and copper's not far away from all-time highs. So, you know, it could indeed happen. And you could see it in the
you know what, just an idea, and I've talked about this before, and I don't know, maybe some people out there could do some research, but when you talk about what the Canadian could do right here, and the Aussie, the strength of commodity currencies, and you're worried about the dollar, why not buy Canadian miners or Aussie miners, where you get the you know, you get the appreciation with the precious metal, but you also get the kicker of being in the right currency instead of the dollar.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Just a
great
thought.
point.
Yeah, I mean, maybe I don't, you know, I'm not a big miners guy, but I have to say this, Dale. Let me take a step back and say, really, kudos to you right here. You were calling for a short here in the dollar CAD right there, and we got a rejection. Now, I was unsure if we were going to be developing a triangle or a channel. And what happened is, well, we just found out what the market really cares about at the moment, and that is the triangle, which also is really key support, and which Ryan, you know, Ryan and I have been harping on, you know, this 136 levels being so critical, and I still think it is for bulls. I think they really need to hold above 136. I'm still not a Canadian economy hawk, bull, whatever. Yeah, I still want to lean into Canadian weakness in the months ahead. But anyway, great call there. And I think this is going to be a key one this week to see what the dollar does. Because yeah, if the dollar Canadian breaks back below 136, this could bring in some pretty significant selling, I think. And again, I don't think that's going to happen, but it is entirely possible. So actually, anything's possible this week. So let's go to equities really fast, and let's talk about this idea that, you know, here we are. The S&P is a great example of just grinding higher into this channel. Why couldn't we accelerate on weak CPI? Why couldn't we just accelerate, you know, to 5,500 now? You know, give us a little weak data, which no one's expecting. Next thing you know, you got stocks breaking out into all-time highs. That would wreck a lot of people's ideas.
I think most of the bears are out that I follow or talk to, giving basically the same reason, that it exceeded the 78.6 level on the retracement, so they've turned bullish, looking for new highs. And
yeah, well, yeah, and then you got
one down day would change it, Blake. Just like at the last high, it was grinding. Oh yeah, VIX has discounted new highs until this morning.
Yeah,
maybe
I mean,
a little gap here.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm long calls underwater, but bought more Friday. I'm long VIX calls for the other scenario that not many people are talking about. Most people are saying that was it, the correction's over, and it could be. We'll know by Wednesday morning.
Yeah, I mean, I can't. Yeah. I saw and I witnessed a lot of quote unquote Twitter people, popular Twitter people, calling that a top was made last week at 5,200. And remember, I thought 5,200 was going to cap, and then
Well, that's why
Thursday
they're gone. They're
Thursday
gone now.
yeah, well, it's crickets now, but
Yeah.
this is a market that's grinding right into resistance. Then I think it could do, everybody, like I would say, like me, was looking for a lower high. I mean, we were all just kind of like waking, and it doesn't mean it's not going to happen, but
Yeah.
there's a good chance now that that the market can take out these highs on, like I said, weak data. No one's expecting it. No one's expecting inflation to continue to grind down. Everybody thinks it's going to be super sticky, and we're going to continue to get the CPI grinding down to the Fed's target. Or
If
excuse
you're
me.
long, you don't want to see it take out those moving average convergence around 5150 to 5138. But that's still 100 handles lower.
Yeah, I mean, you can do
100 handles,
like something like that, right? I mean,
yeah.
not too far away. And I should pull out gold really quick and silver. I mean,
They're
gold's
wild today.
Yeah, gold still looks constructive. Silver looks really
better.
constructive here. And I still think the dollar looks vulnerable, even though I've peeled off some of my my US dollar shorts. I still think that the euro looks like we can rip towards 109
We could
pretty
have had
easily
this
this week.
show in 1978. Everything we're talking about.
I'm sorry?
We could have had this show and what you're talking about in gold and the dollar in 1978. This show would have worked. What we're
Right.
talking about today.
Sticky inflation.
So many similarities. Dollar under pressure, bull move happening in metals, all the way until 1980, till the Russian invasion. We topped at 880, actually, and we're in a bear market for 20 years after that. And, anyway.
I'm not sure my opinion would have been as educated when I was 6 years old, but
I was watching Looney Tunes with you, Ryan.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was in bell bottoms. No, I don't know.
Leather. All right. Hey, real quick, Ryan, what's I know we got producer prices tomorrow, and by the way, we will cover those live here on this show. What's your big thoughts of this week? Since we can't listen to you on the Flow show in the mornings.
Yeah, trading wise, it's another week where you've got to be reactive. You can't. Well, I mean, you're taking a side by being short dollars. I'm not. I'm just going to react to whatever the data does. But as I said today, I feel that fading dollar strength is probably the way forward, unless there's huge news. We have PPI tomorrow. If that's a hot one or a weak one, the market's going to move, and then we get power a few hours later on, which could flip it around again, and then we go into CPI, which could flip it around again. So yeah, if you're getting in positions on the back of these data and these events, if you get profit into the next event, please take some off the table. If you can leave a little bit on just for a bit of interest, and do so. But book your profits, book some profits. So if the market does flip on you, then you've taken some money off the table, and if it goes your way again, then happy days. But you've just got to be very nimble this week, I think.
Make May pay.
Make May pay. All right, Dale. Well,
good coaching, man.
Yeah, Canadian building permits came a little weaker than expected. It's not moving the needle at all. Everybody's waiting for tomorrow. And remember, people have been waiting for this data since last week. So tomorrow and Wednesday should be some really explosive days. I know you've got Tracy, Shy Girl. She's here. Excited to have her in here as a guest. So
she's an inflationista.
She is an inflationista. Well, we're gonna see if we're gonna get some inflation this week or not. Let's see if it's
picked the right country to live in. Well, you could have gone to Zimbabwe. I think they just printed $1 billion note in their currency, and you could buy a Big Mac with it. Yeah, so we have Tracy. Thank you, Ryan and
Hey
Blake. And
guys.
Hey,
how
good
are
morning,
you?
Tracy.
Good. How are you?
You are an inflationista, right,
Stag,
Tracy?
can you hear?
Oh, stagflationista now.
I have been.
Okay. Well, it's just my memory. Okay, so why don't we talk about a couple of different markets? Thanks again, Ryan and Blake, and Tracy. Welcome back. Why don't I share, and we'll run around the board a little bit. How's that? You have a dollar view, Trace?
What do I have a dollar view? I mean, I not really. I
Yeah.
mean, I think it's kind of, we've been kind of sideways. Blake made a, good point. I mean, it does look like the euro, um, could take off here a little bit. So, it
Yeah.
wouldn't be bad for the dollar to pull back here at all.
Okay. Be bad for what? It'd be good for risk, right? Would it be good for risk? I mean, weaker dollar. I've heard people say you get the direction of the dollar right, you get almost everything right. So a weak dollar is usually bullish for almost everything, right?
Uh, yeah. I don't know. I think the market dynamics have changed a lot since the Fed started raising rates. So, I
Okay.
don't know if that's necessarily true. And I don't really see, I don't see the dollar, back at 90 or anything crazy like that.
Okay.
So,
Do you think that I've heard some people talk like DiMartino Booth that the Fed pivoted at their presser a couple weeks ago. Do you think he did?
I think the big pivot was in December when,
Okay.
he suddenly was very dovish out of the blue. And
Yeah.
so really, I think that was the big pivot. I think now, the Fed's been trying to, after the market priced in like 6 rate cuts right after that December meeting, I think they've been trying to, and then we've had a few months of, kind of hotter CPI. I think they've been trying to backtrack a little bit.
Okay. So gold's had a tremendous run. I still keep an eye on gold fields. Is this still one of your holdings?
Yep, that's all still a long-term hold for me.
Okay.
It hasn't really done a lot, to be
That's what I was
honest.
going to ask you about. Do you think it's because of the rand?
It could be. I mean, I don't know. And I told you this back. I mean, I've been in this for since 2020. So
Right.
this is
Right.
like a set it and forget it hold for me.
Okay. All right. So, but it's still, in the right asset class. Um, with, looks like gold and silver are in bull markets. Do you agree with that statement?
Yeah, absolutely. So I have gold. I have Barrick Gold, and the only two miners I have are GFI and Barrick Gold. I'm actually more bullish on silver than I am
Yeah.
gold.
Okay. So, yeah, the ratio is shifting. So, why not any silver share holdings?
I do. I have AG,
Okay.
and I have um I have I don't have, I'm having issues with, TD merged with Schwab today, and
Yeah, same thing happened to me.
I can't log into my account, and I'm freaking out, to be honest, this
Oh God.
morning.
Oh God.
So
I was able to log in and I thought it was
I
going to be,
have not, and I'm not really thrilled
yeah,
about that.
yeah. Well, did you set up the username and password before
The
today?
new the new one, well, I
Yeah.
tried and they said we're having technical difficulties. Then when I tried again, they
Oh,
said they said, you already have one, but my login doesn't work. And so I have to call them, in other words, as
all
soon as
right.
we're done with this.
All right. Okay.
But
So,
for silver, I have AG on, and I have FSM on.
okay. I don't like this. I mean, this is really, and this is the biggest gold company in the U.S., right? Barrick? Is it bigger
Uh,
than Newmont
it's
or,
actually a Canadian company.
Oh, okay. It's one of the heavier weights in the GDX, or
Yes.
I think Newmont is. But I mean, you know, from where it peaked and where it is compared to some of the others, um, you know, there have been, you know, some great
Yeah, I mean,
performers.
I got in at a good time. So
Yeah. You know, I'm always looking at, you know, what are the best, even within the sector, you could find relative strength leaders and laggers. So I kind of pay attention to that. So yeah, here's the silver one that Tracy's in. And I
18.
talked about this down here. Um, but
Yeah, we got in right around it was a little
March,
above $4. So
yeah, the great trade, a double almost. Well, yeah, a
yep.
double. So we'll see what you know, these numbers are going to be important. Almost looks like we could get an ABC here, but I could be faked out and could just blow again. So miners, um, what else on the inflation side? Uranium.
So I do have a long-term hold in uranium too, UEC.
Okay. All right. Let me put that up because so you gave up on this trust. It really was kind of what
What
a crunk.
trust?
URA.
Oh,
UROY,
you
I
Roy?
mean.
No, I'm still holding it.
Okay. Because it's a trust, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
Okay.
part of UEC.
Okay. So I mean, what a difference. I know URE is going to look better than this.
UEC. I mean, yeah,
UEC.
UEC.
I know I have it also on my list somewhere, but I'll just
Uranium there. That's
yeah.
it.
Okay. 708. Look at that chart and then look at that chart. You know, um, much more relative strength here. All right. Are you doing anything on the ag side? Because I think we put in, you know, they've been for being a stagflationista. When you look at long term
Eggs look
grain,
good to me. I
they,
have some calls on corn, December corn.
okay, corn looks good. And they've been basically turned to dust since the invasion. That was a high in the grain. So they've been going down for 2 years. So here's what Tracy's doing. Corn putting in a nice little bottom here. Wheat to me looks like the leader
Yep, wheat
and
looks good.
bringing up the
That's just a
rear.
little too nuts for me to trade them.
What, the wheat?
Wheat, yes.
Yeah, okay.
Like
And
the redheaded
you went with
stepchild.
what'd you go with, like D's $5 calls or something?
Yep.
Okay. So it may look like it's ambitious here, traders, but you know, let's look at what this stuff was doing. Here's the invasion, and they all did the same. Look
They
at
all,
this. So,
yeah.
you know, we had problems with inflation with cheap grains, Trace. Um, what's going to happen if that's shifting?
See, that's what
And
I'm
it looks like it
thinking.
is.
That's what I'm thinking. I think grains are kind of the next to catch up. We had crude broke out, we had the metals
Right.
breaking out, and now we'll have the ags breaking out.
Yeah, look at where wheat was on the invasion, $13. So
Yeah.
even if you get a corrective move, there's big money in it.
Yeah, I
Right.
mean, it's not a bad play right now. I mean, because you're coming off the lows, right?
I call it the breakfast bull market because first you had Cocoa Puffs, right? And then it went puff after,
And
you know,
coffee, then we got coffee.
well, yeah, coffee for breakfast,
Coffee's
and then you have Wheaties, right?
robust,
And
Robusta's
your corn
breaking out. So
and cornflakes. You're in the cornflake part of it. Yeah, it's an interesting period, and also the weather patterns have shifted from El Nino to La Nina, and we've seen more weather problems with La Nina, especially
yeah,
in the
absolutely
wheat.
in Brazil. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, um, what else commodity wise? Are you buying fertilizer stocks still?
No, that
No,
trade was, no, you can't. For fertilizer is not a play unless we see some sort of breakout in natural gas. So,
and that looks like it could be happening. You
mm,
think we have a low here?
I think we could get a nice move maybe back to 4, but I mean,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah, I'm kind
Uh,
of meh. I'm kind of meh on natural gas right now.
okay. Um, do you own the shares, natural gas shares?
No, I have nothing on a natural gas
Okay.
right now.
I was kind of thinking this, we had a nice rally. I know you were long for this rally. Andy told me. I forgot. Yeah, anyway, so we went, had a nice rally. Looks like a normal correction. Had a pretty impressive reversal day, and we have an abnormal Middle East. Is this just a correction to buy before the next leg up
Yeah, I
in
mean,
crude?
again, and I think last time we talked and I was on here, I think crude will probably trade sideways, probably for quite a while, but just in a large range, kind of that 70 to $90 range, which is
Okay.
fine. I mean, I don't really want to see crude hold for any length of time over $100 because that would be terrible for emerging markets, terrible for us, terrible for, just in general. That said, that's still quite a wide range to be able to trade in, right?
Okay. Yeah. I mean, this is decent action. Getting back over 80 would help, I believe. 80 is a pretty big
Yeah, you would need
psychological.
to, I think this area gets really sticky. And if you go sideways, that kind of,
Yeah.
76, 78, 79, because that's where the government said that they were going to start buying barrels back. So,
Have they started?
that kind of puts a floor in it. Well, they recall when oil just went up to 86, they canceled the last 3 million order. Now they're talking about maybe putting that order back on again.
Well,
So I
does
don't know.
buy
There's a lot of mixed messaging in the
okay.
oil markets from this current administration, to be honest.
Does Biden use cancel replaces on his orders? Do you know? Or does he just go straight or does he just go straight cancel?
Right. I don't
Does he
know.
use day orders, or was it a good till canceled till he canceled it anyway? Okay, I'll let go of that one. But yeah, look left on this WTI chart, and it's a big level there. So
A huge level. Yeah, if we can get
yeah,
over 80, I think we could see another tick up, but let's see. I mean, for last over a week, we've just been consolidating. So it's,
okay.
getting ready for a move one way or the other.
I know it's not your field. I mean your area, but do you have a view on interest rates with these two big reports coming this week?
I do not. That is
Yeah, me either.
not.
You don't even pay attention to the bonds or yields at all.
I pay attention to the 10-year yield because it's 88% correlated
Correlated?
to crude oil. So
Oh, really? Okay.
yes.
So,
So pay
okay,
attention to yields. If you look at the chart, it kind of looks similar,
it does. So
right?
when you higher yields, higher
Higher
oil?
WTI. Yep.
Okay. It's interesting. It's kind of like the something else you wouldn't think would be a good correlation is like the gold silver ratio. And I know that's why you're more bullish
Silver. Yep.
because of this, trying to form a major top, people looking for 50 or so on this. So, but this is, like you said, sideways in the dollar, you know, there's some characteristics um, between gold, silver, and um, the Dixie. So, okay, anything I haven't thought of to ask you about?
I don't think so. I mean, I think that's really it. You know, copper's breaking out.
Yeah.
I think there's a couple good names. I like Tech and SCCO. So, you know, if you can get, you know, I wouldn't probably chase it at these levels, but if you know, I think it's viable on dips.
Okay. All right. So China and copper and the Aussie have been kind of running together. So this is new though. I mean, I haven't heard you talk about a foray into grains since I've been talking
You
to you.
know, I know I haven't traded
That's a
grains
long
in a
time.
long time.
Well, you've been fortunate not trying to buy them the last 2 years, because I mean
Correct.
they got cracked in half. A lot of them, even more.
But that's kind of where, you know, I got my start. I was managing a desk on the CBOT trade floor in the ag room. So
Okay. All right. So Back to the Future with
exactly.
Tracy Schuchart. And best place, I know we're wrapping in time, you know, I don't feel like we have to like fulfill the amount of time if you think that we've covered everything. Why don't you tell us best place to get a hold of you, what kind of business model you have now, where you're looking for people to reach out to you if they
Yeah.
want to
So
reach out.
obviously I'm on Twitter at Shy Girl. That's my only social media account. And then if you want, I'm at I have a joint project with Andy at Damped Spring. If you want to go to Damped Spring, that's me. If you want to go to Damped Spring, I've got Hill Tower Resource Advisors. That's just straight research.
Okay.
And then I have that project Damp Spring, if you want to go to dampspring.com, with Andy, where I have a commodities project with him. So if you want to sign up for that, we have weekly meetings. I'm creating a portfolio, and you can, you know, follow along our trades. We're doing
So
well
is
this.
that a subscription
Yeah, that's subscription.
service?
Dampspring.com. And that's with Andy Constant. This is my commodities, and this is where we're building an actual, there you go, portfolio. And DS Shy Girl up at the top. Up at the very top, it says DS Shy Girl. It's 1, 2, 3,
Oh yeah,
4,
there
fourth
you
tab
go.
over. Oh, yeah, there you go. So that's where we are building a portfolio. We're doing well. We're up about 17% this year. So you can join that. I have a private Twitter feed. Again, weekly meetings, research, and portfolio.
How do you like being a host?
How do I like being a host?
Yeah.
For
Dropping the mic on your foot.
uh,
Drop the mic.
mic drop markets. I do like it. I do like it. It's
Don't you
fun.
feel
So
like you get
this,
you're even sharper because you're talking to smart people?
oh, absolutely. It's so great to be able to just talk to so many people. And that, you know, I try to talk to people that, you know, in areas that, you know, are not my forte. So I cover, that's every Wednesday at 11
You had
a.m.
my buddy Jim Walsh on.
Yep. To
Yeah,
12
I've
p.m.
known Jim for about 30 years.
Yep. I've
Fine.
had
Yeah,
hit
he's
on.
good, very
This
good.
week is oil. So if you're interested in oil markets, it's on Wednesday at 11 a.m. to 12 p.m.
What platform do you use for those interviews?
Twitter. So
Oh,
sorry,
so
X.
you're just on live, it's just live on Twitter
It's
when you're
live on
doing it?
X, and then I download it and upload it to, you know, Spotify, Apple, etc.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Like
Well,
it's live on X.
thanks for copying me.
We'll get you on, Dale. Don't worry.
I'm so worried my hair has turned silver. My hair is in a bull market, Tracy. I don't worry about the small stuff. So anyway, good luck. Hope things go well with Andy. He's a pretty good market reader himself,
Yep.
and Jimmy Jude's a good technician. Pretty strong team.
Yeah, I think
And
so.
you know, I hope your trading goes well, and reach out to Tracy and read her research. She writes prolifically. Do you enjoy writing more, expressing your market ideas through the written word
Not
more, or
really.
the same as, like, or doing things like this?
I like doing things like this. I mean, I like it all, really,
Yeah,
right?
it's harder work to put it down on, on paper, isn't it?
I know, but I do it
No.
a lot, so.
Okay. And you're still happy in Florida?
Yes, hot here,
Okay.
but yes,
Okay. And that's it. And your
that's all
temperature and
she
blood
wrote.
pressure are okay and everything?
I think so.
Health is good?
Health is good.
All
So
right.
far,
Well,
so good. Knock on wood.
yeah, health is your wealth. So Tracy Schuchart, everybody. If you're
Right.
not
Thanks,
following
guys.
her, yeah, if you're not following her, you have a hole in your intelligence gathering.
Have
So anyway, thank you very much, my trading warrior sister, for being with
you
us
got
today.
it. Thank you,
So,
guys. Have a good day,
oh
everyone.
yeah, and good luck with getting that account open. That's yeah, I
I
know
know.
that's number one. All right, take it easy. Thanks for hanging out with us under those circumstances.
Thank you. Have a good day.
All right, Tracy, my trading warrior sister, and one of Blake's favorites and a lot of people's favorites. Check her out. And that'll be a wrap. See everyone for Turnaround Tuesday and the first part of our inflation doubleheader. See everyone tomorrow. Don't just count your pips, count your